Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. And today, I'm going to give my 2023 Master Reading Plan, and it's a doozy. A number of people have done this already. I'm not sure if it's Criminale or Michael K Vaughan that was the originator of this plan, but Steve Donahue took it up. And he requested a master plan from everyone. And then I saw it on Micah Cummings' channel. And I just decided to cave and tell you of my master plan that is very full. So I'm going to break this up into a couple of different categories. The first category is my reading plans that don't really involve BookTube at all. And I have two rather big projects that I'm working on. The first project is my American President's Biography project, where I am attempting to read a biography of every American president in sequential order. And the reason I'm doing this is that I want to see the first president, how George Washington became president and established the presidency, and then move on to Adams and Jefferson and Madison and Monroe, and then go on. And I think this will help me because it will give me a very solid foundation of United States history, a very broad one, because it's focusing on the presidency. So I won't get into the nuance. And when I choose biographies, I'm not choosing the longest or most detailed biography. I want broad brush biographies, almost certainly a single volume biography, because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the broad landscape. I'm not looking for the details and the nuance. If I wanted nuance, I could stick with Thomas Jefferson. There are many good biographies by Thomas Jefferson, and I could easily find half dozen or more. But I want the broader scope to take me from the beginning of the United States and down to the end. I'm trying to read one per month. I know there will be months that I'm going to skip. I will eventually get to some presidents that don't have a whole lot of books out by them. So I might be able to double up. Because for the most part, I'm choosing audiobooks for this project, just because I find that a convenient way to read biographies. So who knows how far I will get. But that's my first major project. The second major project is in the same vein, but I'm going to do the National Book Award winners, starting with The Man with the Golden Arm by Nelson Algren. I have already read that. In fact, I've read quite a number of the National Book Award winners anyway. For the most part, I'm going to reread them, I think. There may be some that I decide not to reread. The second National Book Award winner was The Collected Stories of William Faulkner. I have read that entire volume before. And for that, I decided just to peruse some of his most famous short stories. And the next month, probably this month, February, I get From Here to Eternity by James Jones. That is going to be a reread. But that's one I want to reread. So again, I'm taking them in order to see how history unfolds with the National Book Award. How we come from the story of a morphine World War II addict down to The Rabbit Hutch, which was the most recent winner. And again, I'm going to try to read one per month. There will be months that I have to skip. The next are book groups. When I moved to Virginia from Washington, I eventually found a book group in my 55 plus community that met every month and read pretty commonplace books, but I wanted to try it. I wanted to interact with real people, and it is enjoyable. So I read one book per month for that book group, except December when they don't choose a book. And then 2 months ago, my wife's a pickleball player. And one of her pickleball playing buddies had a book group, and she invited my wife to join the book group. And she says, oh, my husband's joining in too. So now I have 2 physical book groups. So I'm enjoying that. We're only on, 3rd month or so. And this is the type of book they read, The Silent Patient. It's just a mystery. Last month we did a historical novel about the wife of Robert Louis Stevenson, which was okay. So 2 physical book groups. And then I have this other project that I want to work on. I have this huge collection of Philip K. Dick. I want to read it all. I want to read about 4 Philip K. Dick novels per year. I have Elmore Leonard. I want to read about 4 Elmore Leonard books per year. I have Ros McDonald, Lou Archer. I want to read about 4 Lou Archer books per year. And here I'm segueing into BookTube territory. I have this collection of Kurt Vonnegut. I want to read about 4 Kurt Vonnegut books per year. And there is a Kurt Vonnegut Quarterly book group. This month in February, we are going to be reading Player Piano. I presume the next one is going to be The Sirens of Titan. I'm going to push for a chronological order in this group. I don't know if I'll get my wish, so we may jump and skip around in the end, but still 4 Kurt Vonnegut books per year. Okay. And now for the buddy reads that I am going to be doing for BookTube that I know about. This month, I am reading Paradise Lost by John Milton. Somewhere around June-ish, Sandy, Miss Reads a Lot, we're doing A Void by George Perec. Also around that time, maybe later, I have rumors that Sandy and Simon Fraser are going to be reading The Man Without Qualities. I want to join in on that. Now this is a huge commitment. This is 1,700 pages of dense novel. So that's going to be a huge project in and of itself. With Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics, we want to read Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts and Homeboy by Seth Morgan. I hope those 2 go off this year. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it's part of my master plan. Okay, now we're in to the 500-page gorilla of master plan, and that is the BookTube Prize. And it is one that's a little uncertain. I have been selected for the octofinal round in nonfiction, so I have my 6 nonfiction books that I'm going to be reading for February and March. After that, I don't know. I may be selected for more groups. I may bow out. That's a big unknown, but it is potentially a lot of books to read for my master plan. And then there are also lots of little book groups and events going on in BookTube. I am a member of the science fiction book group that was formed from the Bookish Bryants out of New Worlds November. We have 11 or 12 core people who've selected or will be selecting the books, and we're on our 2nd book in February. I am also part of a Thomas Bernhard reading group created by Channel of a Disappointed Man, and we're going to be on our 2nd Thomas Bernhard book for February, Concrete. Now, I have read most of Thomas Bernhard's novels in English. There are a few that I want to get to that I haven't done yet, but this will be a reread for me, but still. Thomas Bernhard is not a fast read. There is the Gothic Book Club with Vin at Revenant Reads, where we are progressing through some of the major Gothic books in history, reading them chronologically. And next month, in March, James Hogg, Confessions of a Sinner, something like that. And then after that, there'll probably be more Gothic books. There is Roger's Cheap Old Book Club, formed by Michael K Vaughan. I have already read The Prisoner of Zenda for this month, and next month is The Forgotten Planet by Murray Leinster. And there's some other ones, I don't remember them all. I remember in December we're doing No Name by Wilkie Collins. I have a feeling that I'm not going to get to all these in that book club. You know, there's a lot to read there. And then there is Criminale's Birth Year book club. This month I have finished The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I don't know what is next month, but I hope to get to most of those. But again, depending on the schedule, some of them might slip on the wayside. And then there's the big events for BookTube. There is March of the Mammoths. Alan Bigheart Books and Classics and Sean Steadfast. We're doing William Gaddis's The Recognitions. And this is a mammoth. This is a lot of text on each page. It's 944 pages long. But I absolutely adored J.R. by the same author, and I'm eagerly anticipating digging in and thoroughly being absorbed by this. But this book is going to take up the huge bulk of March. May, we are going to have Horror Mayhem with the Bookish Bryants. It has not been officially announced, but I think that's going to happen. And then there's May of the Moderns. I always associate with Margaret Bernhard. I don't know if she's the only host, but that's the host that I can think of. And I want to dip my toe into May of the Moderns. I don't think I will get around to all the prompts. There's probably going to be at least 4 prompts, if it is anything like last year. But I at least want to do one modern book, because that is an era that I'm fascinated with. We had a lot of great modernist authors. And then, of course, there is June on the Range with Michael K Vaughan. I already have 4 solid picks for June on the Range, so June is filled with Westerns. And then August, Garbogust is 2.0 is coming. And of course, I've got to be part of Garbogust. And then there is Victober. I always associate Victober with Kate Howe. I know she's not the only host, but again, that's the only host that I can remember off the top of my head. I doubt I will do all the prompts for Victober, but I'm doing at least one Victorian book. It will almost certainly be an Anthony Trollope book. I discovered Anthony Trollope in 2020, and I found his books delightful. They're not too taxing to read, and they're a lot of fun. So Anthony Trollope for October. And then in December comes again New Worlds November with the Bookish Bryants. Again, it has not been announced, but I am pretty sure this is going to go down. And the good thing about New Worlds November, a lot like Horror Mayhem, they focus on shorter works. So I can get by with reading some short stories for those. And those are all my master plan that I can think of off the top of my head. I think I'm forgetting something. I've been forgetting something all day. I was going to record this on Friday, and I kept trying to remember what I think I'm forgetting, but my old brain can't remember. It'll sneak up on me. So what do you think? Do I have too much in my master plan? It's a doozy. Leave comments. Say what you think. What am I going to have to skip? My guess is the Elmore Leonard, the Philip K. Dick, the Ros McDonald. Those might have to slide. I might not get 4 books by each author in a year. Might have to settle for 2. Might have to settle for 3. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.